Notsimp.com, the female version being HOE, the archetypes that we should want to transcend. But let's start off with a list of the most logical, measured, and composed individuals that I think have an effect in the manosphere, and people like Savannah Stone, Helen Andrews, Pearl Davis, Lisa Soni, Anya Schock, Louise Perry, Deborah So, Karen Seitz, Ronnie Fuchs, Candace Owens, and Rachel Wilson. The irony, of course, is that they're all women. And although there are obviously men who have rationale and share ideas, they do it with a sarcasm and bitterness that in a way I think disqualifies them, because it's not good enough to be right. Like the same as I think it's not adequate to be rich or strong. Because if you're missing the element of joy in life, then what's the point of being this guy with alpha characteristics, good genetics, stable job, or high net worth, and yet you are desperately pursuing the next person woman you don't even respect enough to want to marry and have 3, 4, 5 or more kids with? Come on, guys. So I want to offer some advice to women. That's why I'm here. And because usually I'm being critical of the dark psychologies of women that we need to be conscious of, or I'm explaining the disadvantages of premarital intimacy. But in this instance, I'm going to really zoom in specifically and look at what I think women are missing, like a decent, average woman who's wants a marriage and everything. So starting off with, as a woman, you got to realize it's a man's world, and that doesn't mean you can't operate in it and make an income. It means if you don't have a benevolent patriarchy, if you don't have a family and father, uncles, brothers who can afford to have you stay at home and provide for you and help you find a husband, then you're going to need to turn on your masculine switch and start working on that yourself. But while you're doing that, while you're earning an income and watching out for yourself, and if unfortunately having to keep your feminine energy stifled, you're going to want to seek out a benevolent patriarchy. Now, this might include pastors. Ideally married men, because unless you're biologically related to them, it's not that easy to find men who only want you for your body. And speaking of body, so work on that. That's number one. Find benevolent patriarchal aspects to be in your life. It might be your gay male friend who can offer the masculine perspective or the male perspective, and also maybe he's physically strong and can help look out for you, in public. But there's this idea of what is a good man. To me, a good man is a religiously oriented or spiritually oriented man who doesn't want a woman's body. He actually wants her submission and her to follow along with her, and so that she can be in her feminine, enjoy that, and he can enjoy being in his masculine and have a sense of purpose to provide for you. So think about it like this. Like, if a guy, that's why post-nut mental clarity is so important, and it's highly achievable through regular self-intimacy as a man, what happens is if a guy doesn't want your body, then what else is left? Well, there's wanting you for your values. And specifically, the values, a lot of religious guys, like they don't want to take a woman's body unless she's married to her. And if you want to really experience that as a woman, then you're going to have to be interested in this type of guy who's going to want a woman who's willing to surrender herself to a man who's following his purpose, not following woman, not following his lust to get a woman's body, not wanting to seduce a woman. And this is actually point number 3, is the problem with women is that they like the whole idea of like romance and seduction and flirtation and dating and intimacy before marriage. Like the reason women want that is because women want to feel like they're giving chase, quote unquote. They want to feel like they are being chased after and that they're attractive. But the thing is that doesn't really complement the process of scientific compatibility assessment, where the man and the woman are using family and friends to talk with each other, and also professionals, and also doing their own research and determining, well, is this person compatible with me? But the thing is compatible for what? Yes, you want physical compatibility. You can discuss this privately over the internet after you realize that you have other compatibility, but it's really compatibility of roles, like being on a mission and having the same roles, having complementary roles to each other. Obviously, masculine provider, protector, leader, husband, and feminine follower, supportive wife. Those are complementary roles. You may need to refine those or want to. In some instances, maybe it's reversed. This is not about me trying to convince you to what role to take. It's to convince you to want to find a role and know what it is, and then know what that will be for your partner, whether you're LGBT, whatever it is. This is not about me. Like I don't like it when all my opposition make it about me, try to personal attack like my appearance, or they do things that redirects the focus away from the actual substance of the conversation, the topics of what is compatibility, what is marriage. And like I said, women, what they do is they get into this whole romance, like limerence, like thing in this chase, in this game, and that's why they get interested in bad boys who are actually effeminate. Not effeminate in all ways. They may make money, they may seem macho, like don't care attitude, like tough attitude. They may be physically fit. They may have hand-to-hand combat skills, whatever. They may seem masculine on the outside, but these bad boys who like to seduce women and play these games, that's a feminine behavior. That's like not being sure of what you want. That's like, and well, maybe they are sure. Maybe they're predatory. Maybe they're trying to seduce women and get rid of them. But then there's the whole gray area of guys who may seem innocuous and friendly, but they're playing these half-hearted gray area games of do you like me? Let's go on our first date. Like that's not how a masculine. That's not masculine. So they may be masculine in other areas, but in the area of really being serious about a woman and serious about their life, serious about their being a husband, and actually like a guy who wants to provide for a woman so she doesn't have to work. So in certain instances she may have to work, but I'm talking about I'm talking about a guy who in a perfect world wants to provide. And that's the type of guys that you should be focused on as a woman. And the way to attract these type of guys is not like, yes, they may want to be attracted to your body, yes, of course, but you don't capture these kind of guys with your body, because they want to have a soul connection. They want to have a plan, and that's actually, when people make a plan for life, it's more likely to work out. All these dating, relationships, it's all open-ended, non-committal, half-hearted, subject to either party wanting to leave whenever they want. And the worst part is dating or being attached to someone and then meeting somebody in public or who actually has more in common with you, and you wish you were single. So even the word single, you don't call it single, you call it preparing for your future spouse, preparing to be a husband or wife. That is where your power is, and in the knowledge of the mission. And it's just as much for a woman to be like, hey, this is the mission I want. And then both people realize that they have the same mission, but then they work together as a man and a woman to create a life together. So the way you attract these type of guys, women, is you need to, like, basically, so you see a guy that you're interested in, you want to do the same things that he does. And really, it's not, in a perfect world, you can tell your father that, to go check this guy out, or tell your friend or brother, like, hey, this guy seems interesting, could you look more into him? Maybe look on his social media, maybe talk to him for a while in some whatever environment that you're in. Like, that's the type of level that you want to be interacting with a man that's like a real legitimate husband type of guy, like a legitimate eligible bachelor. Like, you have to have a different consciousness about how you're dealing with this type of person. And so there you go. That's a different way of looking at it. And I was excited in the beginning to present that list of ironically all women who I think are the best reference material. They have the most grounded opinions. Some of them are edgy, and I don't agree with all of them. And some of the things, like, you have your Candace Owens who has all of these biases. They may be some truth in them, but how productive is it to be against some whole ethnicity or country, like the Israel situation? It's better for us to all find commonality in the fact that we can love femininity and recognize why all the historical, whether it's Orthodox Jews or any others, the real religions, why they made all these special efforts to protect femininity and protect women. And you're not only protecting them from predatory men, which is another reason why it's not good for women to work, because you're going to be exposed to dangerous men out there. And so, yeah, let's be conscious of all this. Be conscious of the reality of that women deserve to be able to enjoy being women, and women get all their wealth and value when they're 18 years old. It's like a guy getting millions of dollars when he's 18. You're going to need help managing it. You're going to need help protecting yourself from yourself, not only other men. All right, guys. Thanks for considering, and aloha.